Shalom, shalom. This is the addendum to the first discussion, teaching of the Sabbath day, cosmologically and ritually, and the difference between the two and why you need to know that. Okay? All right. In the book of Amos, and we're going to go ahead and turn there to Amos the prophet. And it may take me a second. And we're going to do this. This is an often quoted text by people. Shall two walk together at all if they know not one another? Do you know me? Do I know you? Shall two walk together if they do not know one another? The Bible says that in the Greek Septuagint, but in the New Testament, the word agreed is used. And that's an interesting word. Why did the translators choose the word agreement instead of knowledge? Okay? Shall two walk together except they be agreed? That's what it says in the New Testament. Now, it's been twisted and contorted and turned into a tool of control and deplatforming and disassociation and exile and condemnation. How shall two walk together except they be agreed? Okay. Or agree. That's how they say it. In other words, if you don't agree with me, we can't walk together. So we got to split up. There's denominational Christianity for you in a nutshell. Might as well go back to that if that's what you're going to do. That's all you're doing. You're not even following after the Spirit of God like that. So, however, what we move on to with that is they use the word agreement or except they be agreed in the King James Version of the New Testament, if that's what y'all want to rock with. Okay? The question is, what agreement? Who set us at agreement? Who caused us to agree? And what are we agreeing on? That's what's actually being said in that text. It's not, do you believe everything I believe, and do you agree that I'm right and you're wrong? Or do you agree that I'm right and you're right too because you give mental assent to me as some authority? The agreement that we have was made by Yah. He is the one who put us at agreement. And he did it through the Messiah. He did it through the blood and the atonement, the blood and the body of his Son, Christ, the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus. Okay? That's the agreement. It's the same type of situation that we have with the Torah. He gave us the agreement, okay, to agree with him on. See, that's the point. We need to agree with him, not one another. We're all going to have different minds, different opinions. We're going to have different ideas as to application and things like that, what these things mean. There's always going to be that because we're as individual, like a thumbprint, we're just as individual from one another, just like a thumbprint up here, as Yah is from us, okay? And the whole idea is that we are actually expressing his diversification, his decentralization nature. He has a decentralized nature, okay? In other words, you can't hack him, okay? He gives us variants of ideas within the context and the framework of a general thing that he's put. And we're actually manifestations and expressions of the power, wisdom, and abject Godhead that he is, okay? In other words, he is the authority, the only authority. He's the one who created us. He gave us this diversity of thought and this diversity of opinion. And why we don't use that and glorify him, and then instead of just setting up a an actor, an idol, okay, a star for us to follow, is beyond me, okay? Anyway, Amos. This is a good one, if I can find it here in a minute. Should have had it ready. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and quote it. It's in Amos. Okay. Amos says, "When shall the Sabbath be over, that we may sell grain, or the new moon, that we may sell the refuse or the cheap wheat?" Okay? This is your question you got to ask when you read that text. When did they open the markets? Did they open the markets as soon as the sun went down? Or did they open the markets the following morning? And maybe this is why the Jews continue the Sabbath on into the next morning, because cosmologically the Sabbath ends in the evening. They know that. But they also are not, at least in the late Bronze Age, they didn't work at night. You couldn't even see to get to town, let alone shop and find out whether your wheat was moldy or not. So that's the question you need to ask. When did they open the markets? Okay? I had to throw that addendum on there because that was one of the things I wanted to mention in that first lesson on the Sabbath day, from a cosmological and calendrical standpoint. There's so much more I could discuss, so much more things I could talk about just in this. But time is time, and I don't want to take too much of it from you. So, all right. Shalom.